Hello, everybody. This is Alia Jamal, the love coach, and we are meeting for another love circle. And today we are talking about something so serious, but something that we need to really get honest with. And that is understanding emotional abuse. I can guarantee that every single one of us who's listening to it, present or present on the face of the earth, has experienced emotional abuse in some area of their life. If it wasn't at home, then it was with friends. If it wasn't with friends, it was at workplace. Somewhere, somehow, us human, we have experienced it. Where it becomes problematic when we experience it for long period of time, when we experience it during our childhood years, between 0 to 7, we are programmable at that time. We are programmable at any given time in our life, reprogrammable. But in that, during 0 to 7, we don't have the capacity or ability built in biologically to reject what's coming in within us in our mind. So that is a very delicate period of our life. And if we experience emotional abuse during that time, that is where the work is a little bit more, and we have to go a little bit deeper within ourselves. I do have a jam-packed session over here. Let's see how we do with time. So first of all, I want us to understand that emotional abuse is something that is undetected. You won't be able to tell that you are being emotionally abused. You won't be able to see it. You won't be able to really pinpoint it. Someone else looking at you from the outside will be able to do that. But it would be very challenging for you yourself to do it unless you do get some professional help in that regard. I'm just letting somebody in. So that is the first thing. So that is why it's very important for us to become honest, because none of us want to feel that we have experienced any kind of abuse, because there is a stigma attached to the word abuse itself, while we abuse ourselves all the time. So pay attention to it. If you already know or you don't know, wherever you are, let's keep our mind open and let's dive in. For the second thing I want to lay out, we could be the recipient or the abuser. If I received emotional abuse, I am definitely abusing somebody else. Now, it's just a matter of if I want to become honest with that or not. Generally, for those of us who are parents, if we become very honest with our own interaction with our kids, we can find emotional abuse. For example, when parents threaten a child, you better get to the car now, or you're not getting XYZ. That is emotional abuse. It's so delicate, it's so hidden in our day-to-day being. And today we are going to learn how detrimental it is and how we can heal it. But I want you to keep your mind open how you have received it in the past or are still receiving it, and how you do it to other people. Because when we don't even know another way of being, then that's who we become. I didn't know how you can parent a child without threats, without hitting them, without all kind of crazy stuff. So when I became a parent, I dedicated a lot of time to learning positive parenting, reading a lot of books. That is something I had to learn. And then I learned I need to heal so many things within me. So let's get into what is emotional abuse. So emotional abuse is when somebody is teasing you and they won't stop even if you're telling them. When adults bully each other, the adult bullying is actually more present than childhood bullying, because adults can get away with it and kids, they get in trouble in school. So pay attention to if you're being bullied, if someone is verbally criticizing you, if someone is trying to control you, you need to do this my way or highway, and then you're just scared and then you're walking on eggshells around that person. That is emotional abuse. You are part of it. If you say, oh, I don't want to create chaos in the life, so I'm just going to keep peace and I'm just going to do whatever the person is saying, you are the recipient of emotional abuse. When someone tried to humiliate you, especially in front of others. Now, we all can think of at least a parent, hopefully we are not that parent, who had tried to humiliate their own child in front of everybody, so they will feel too ashamed, and then they will definitely do whatever the parent want them to do. And I used to be the parent who would say, especially when I was potty training my child, I would say that, hey, you are not potty trained, and so is potty trained. It's a very typical thing that we learn as from our society and conditioning. And then I learned, okay, that is emotional abuse. That comparison, even when it comes to you didn't eat vegetable and somebody else did. So these are just small examples that are present just the way we live, no matter where we are in the world. But I want you to also pay attention to what goes on at work. When there is comparison happening, maybe your supervisor is telling the other person, never take day off, and you're always taking day off. While you do have entitlement to take those days off. I heard that all the time when I used to work. So wherever there is a shame being created, there's somebody's degrading you, and then you feel like, I need to attach this person with this person. That person is really mistreating you, but you are feeling like, I need to attach to this person. I can't live without that person. There is a thing called trauma attachment. Hopefully, most of us know. I'm not going to go into too many details, but what trauma attachment is, we get attached to our abuser because the abuse creates a very specific brain chemistry. And we need that brain chemistry. We need somebody to come abuse us. I know it sounds so horrific when we say it out loud, but unconsciously, that is what's going on. That's why one of the hardest thing is for a person who have experienced abuse, whether it's physical, sexual, emotional, to develop, to create a healthy, peaceful life. They just become magnet to drama. That next relationship that they attract is a little bit better, but then the controlling starts to show up, and then they feel like they can't really even spend their own money. Stuff like that starts to show up, and somebody's controlling them. They have to ask someone else to make a decision. So all those things come because we are attached to a very specific brain chemistry once we have gone through abuse. And I am just leaving it general. Pretty much all of us have. That's why we become magnets to drama. And we have to learn and train ourselves to create inner peace and to create happiness. So just few other example, when someone is making fun of your body shaming, name calling, when someone is threatening to leave if you don't change. Sometimes it could be just the way you dress. Somebody's making fun of that. I went through that a lot. I still do. Just the other day, somebody posted a comment on one of my YouTube videos that, you're in US now, you can take this scarf off and be free. So that is right there, emotional abuse. Somebody thinking they can control me, somebody thinking they know what's best for me better than me, especially as an adult. Even in kids, we want to come to the child level and we want to understand. I understand I want him to go for karate, swimming, and art class, everything in 1 week. But is it really what is good for this child, what this child needs right now? Or am I just trying to raise the child that my mom couldn't raise? So we have to pay attention to how we are interacting, whether it's on a bigger level or a smaller level. When I start to violate somebody else's right, and that could be my child, now I am an abuser. I might not be hitting the person, I might not be doing something sexual to them, but the words that I use are hurting physically, psychologically, and spiritually. And we'll be looking at all of that. And what you can keep in mind. You're like, okay, yes, we are learning. Yes, I have seen these things happen. Two very prominent signs of people who are emotional abuser. They think something is wrong with everybody. And that could be me too. And there was a time I had this built-in mechanism within me. As soon as I meet with somebody, my self-esteem was so low that I will just start looking at their faults. What is wrong with this person? What is wrong? Like, as soon as I find this is what's wrong with them, now they are below me. So that is the telltale sign of an abuser. I know mine was more hidden. Only I knew it. Nobody else knew it. That's why the work that we do, only you can become honest with yourself, because only you know what goes on in your mind. But let's say if you have a sibling, you have a parent, you have a friend, you have a coworker who think there's something wrong with everybody. That is a telltale sign of an emotional abuser. Another one is gaslighting. So we might have heard of that word. What gaslighting is, the person is going to make you feel wrong all by yourself. They will say, oh, no, that's not true. Oh, no, it's all in your head. And then you start to doubt yourself. So a person who is in an abusive situation, and I've been there myself, that person think it's all their fault. It's their fault, and it's because of them that things exist the way they do. And another person from the outside can see, they'll be like, no, you're living with a psycho here. Your friend might be telling you that, but you yourself, if you're living in that environment, you'll be like, no, something is wrong with me. That's why this person is acting the way they are acting. We start to justify. The reason we start to justify, because we've been gaslit. Somebody took our words, manipulated them, and made us feel bad about ourselves. So then we won't go after them. Then we'll stay in our little corner and feel bad for ourselves. Okay, there is definitely something wrong with me. So a person who comes out of emotional abuse, again, it's undetected, invisible abuse. You're a very powerful CEO, female CEO or male CEO, that we were like, oh my God, look at them, so high, so successful. Even that person could be experiencing emotional abuse in their home. It's that undetectable. It does not show anywhere on you. The person knows what is going on within them. Only they know what is going on within them. What it does, it takes away their self-esteem, because now they're thinking there's something wrong with me. I am bad. I am wrong. Doesn't matter what career achievements they have, their self-esteem is really low. They could stand in front of like 1,000 people and they can give a speech, but inside of them, they feel like I am bad. There's something wrong with me. It's a unconscious process that happen, but it happens in childhood, that there must be something wrong with me. That's why this person who's supposed to love me and protect me is treating me this way. So it's an unconscious belief that gets created. So it does take a big toll on our self-esteem. Now let's look at what does it create in our psychology. So what it does, being in any kind of abusive situation does it, but being in emotional abuse, which is again is an invisible form of abuse, it creates psychological unsafety. So now the person knows that nobody's hurting me, but why I don't feel safe? Why I don't feel safe standing here? What it like? Why I'm not feeling safe? Kids who live in an emotionally abusive home, where mom or dad is always like, do this or else kind of attitude, those kids, they start to feel unsafe. And what happens when we feel unsafe? We are in fear. And what happens when we are in fear? We become angry. So if you come across a child who is so angry, most likely there's emotional abuse going on in home. No child is born with any kind of trauma or psychological disorder. Everything happens in this world. When we come out into the physical world, that is when everything starts to happen. The parents could be like, the most educated, healthy, well-behaved parents you have seen. But if the child is angry for no reason, they are having like spurts of anger, and my child has been there. Even now, it comes out. I'm very aware of it. We are getting help, but the biggest help I could get was help myself. And the more I'm helping myself, the more he's getting better, because that abuse was coming from the parents. That abuse didn't exist inside the child. So that's why, if we have experienced it, we are feeling psychologically unsafe. We are in fear. We are angry. And sometimes we're like, I can't even explain my anger. One time I had an anger outburst. I generally didn't get angry in the past because it was suppressed, but it was so bad that I tear apart the whole room. Like, furniture is up somewhere and everything is up somewhere, and the whole room was destroyed. I'm talking of that kind of anger that comes when we have been in an abusive situation. We feel psychologically unsafe. We are so afraid, but we don't know what that fear is for, so it comes out as anger. So just pay attention to how you behave, how you carry yourself, and just be very honest. Where are there little specks of maybe past emotional abuse, current emotional abuse, or where you're being the abuser? So what really happens when we do experience this emotional abuse and we are maybe currently in that situation? Yes, it does impact our self-esteem. It creates a lot of confusion. It will be very hard to make a decision. You'll feel hopeless at times. You would want to be alone. And that is one of the tactics when we are with an abuser. Slowly, they have something wrong with our friend. They have something wrong with our family. Slowly, 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 we start to get isolated. And again, we're going to keep in mind we could be the abuser too. So we want to stay neutral, open, and ready to transform. And then another thing that could happen when we have experienced abuse, we can become very cold, numb. Nothing really bothers you anymore. And sometime in kids of like young preteen or early teen, kids, it's very normal. They get so numb, they can't even feel pain, and they start cutting themselves. They become self-destructive. That is a telltale sign of a child coming from an emotionally abusive environment. Either mom or dad or somebody in the house is doing that. If there is a physical abuse going on, okay, that makes sense. But if it looks like everything is beautiful, everything is wonderful, what is wrong with this child? Why this child can't be grateful for all the wonderful things that they have? Because that child is feeling numb now. They feel cold. They're not really present. They are shut down. And sometimes we are adult with all those characteristics, and then we label ourselves introvert and put ourselves in a closet, and then we're just like, that's it. I'm an introvert. I'm going to create the life of an introvert. Most likely, when we hold on to that label, we have unhealed emotional abuse or some other form of abuse. That is when we feel like, I don't want to be seen. I want to just hide because it's so unsafe to be seen. Now we want to get into the damage that happens when we go through emotional abuse. Because sometimes if we feel like, I just have a thicker skin, it doesn't matter, I'll be fine, it's not that bad, I don't even meet with my parents anymore. Understandable, but it has done something to us. So physically, let's look physically what it has done to your brain. Because a person who has experienced emotional abuse, they can't even see what others can see. They can't see they are in a abusive situation. They feel lost, they feel confused, and biggest thing is they feel stuck. They feel like, I can never come out of it. How do I come out of it? Because there is a literal brain damage that happened when there is a prolonged emotional abuse, when someone is just throwing stuff at you, you're bad, you're useless, you are fat, you're this, you're that, you're ugly, all of those stuff. These are very real things happening in a very real woman's life at the moment as we speak. But if you talk to them, they could be somebody so successful in terms of their career, and they'd be like, I'm in from one year, out the other year. I have a thick skin. I stopped ignoring him long time ago. They'll just brush it off. But if you're a healthy individual and you're standing there, you'd be like, this person doesn't even know what's happening to them. Yeah, they don't know what's happening to them because parts of their brain have shut off because it was too much for them to experience. So that is the healing responsibility we all have for ourselves. So let's look at it. The first one is the hippocampus changes in a person who have experienced emotional abuse in childhood or wherever, and they lack empathy. And there was a time, and still sometime, I feel like, yeah, I will feel sympathetic towards someone. I will feel this empathy, but sometimes I feel like, there's a little bit holding back. And then it depends what the topic is. Like if it's a child, I'm all in. But if it's some different topic, I might not be all in. I'm still developing that empathetic part of me. And that is coming from a very honest place. If we don't become honest, we don't transform. So so most of the abusers that we know, they lose that part. That's why we say hurt people hurt people. A person must have been hurt by someone else to lose that empathy for another human being, and now they are hurting that person. That's why when somebody hurts you, it has nothing to do with you. They are just taking their own inner darkness and sharing it with you. If we receive that darkness, now we have work to do. But if we just look at it, okay, I understand it belongs to you, I don't have to carry it with me, then we don't get impacted by it. Another thing that happened is the prefrontal cortex and temporal lobe, they start to get impacted, shutting down, thinning, all kind of interesting stuff happened. But what happened with that? The person is not very self-aware. They are not. They might not be aware of what they are wearing, how they are dressing. And that is something where I was too. And when I see it in other women where they're so disconnected with what they are wearing, how they are carrying themselves, or they're just coming out of the home, maybe like, different PJ set bottom and different something else, and they are not even aware. And we are not talking about when we say, you know what, I don't care how I look. We're not talking about that. Some people, they're just like, from today on, I don't care how I look. I'm talking about when a person is not even aware. They're not even aware, hey, there's a mismatch going here. I forgot to comb my hair and I haven't showered in like 2 days. I'm talking about that stuff. They're not self-aware. So someone else can look at them and be like, I think your wardrobe and you can really use some help, but they cannot see it. They are not aware sometimes what they are saying or what they are doing to other people. Again, that element of numbness. And again, I want to highlight each and every one of us have some aspect of it. That's why it takes self-awareness and then healing those parts of us, bringing consciousness, bringing light to it. So now my favorite part starts, and that is the energetical damage that happens. I'm in process of getting a new whiteboard. So we are going to draw it on this piece of paper. And I want to show you something. Let me just grab a marker here. So the biggest problem that goes on, which is even bigger than the physical part that is happening, is energetical damage. So now what is happening, if you look at it, this is a beautiful stick figure, right? And here's the aura. That's the energy field around us. When this energy field is damaged, that is when we get sick. every disease starts here, then it comes into the physical body. When somebody is saying you're fat, they poked a hole in your aura with that toxic word that they said. And at some point, I think I can do a class. I can literally show you the pictures of how anger is shaped, like the energy of anger. Let's say if I say the word beautiful, that energy is shaped in a very specific way, versus I say fear. It's shaped in a very specific way. Every thought that I have, if you can look at the energy of that thought, the higher vibration one, they're symmetrical, and the lower vibration one, they sometimes they literally look like a knife. So it poked hole, then something is wrong with you, you're crazy, all these words, you're loser, you're stupid, like all these words, what they do, they poke hole in your aura. So now what's gonna happen? There are so many elementals, I call them etheric dust or etheric pollution, all around us, invisible. You cannot see them. And these are not entities, by the way. We are not going to go that route in this conversation. They come in and now they can attach to your solar plexus chakra. They can attach to your crown chakra. You're going to feel like, my head hurts. I feel so overwhelmed. I'm overthinking. And then emotionally, feeling sad, you're feeling down. You might feel happy for a little bit, and then you go back to being sad and depressed because something is taking energy from you, because your energy body is not intact anymore. It's not safe anymore. So when we do stay in abusive relationships, in abusive situations like that, and we refuse to leave, and again, my friends, I have been there myself. So I will be the first person to admit that it is very hard to leave, and it does require a lot of work to leave. But when we refuse to leave, we are hurting ourselves energetically. We are literally hurting ourselves energetically. And that is something no one can give it to you. If you run out of blood, we can give you some blood and we can save you. But when your energy body is getting attacked, no one can replenish that but you yourself, and I'll be showing you how. Or of course, you can work with an energy healer, but even if the energy healer will work on you, like when I work on somebody, I'm like, the situation has to change. Something has to change. You can't just live in mud, take shower every day, and then say like, I'll just take shower every day, but I'll keep living in mud. The another aspect that happens, that's why kids who grew up in emotionally abusive or any kind of abuse household, they have certain beliefs about themselves. And one of those beliefs is, I'm not worthy, I'm not enough, I'm not lovable. I understand all of us carry a certain degree of that, and we do end up working, but those kids, their wound is just so strong. It's almost like, they just can't get to the place where they can feel whole. And this is how it happens. So we are going to draw the conscious and the unconscious mind. Here's the body. Here's the conscious mind. Here's the subconscious mind. And the conscious mind is developed after the 7, and subconscious is developed between 0 to 7. But it is the feeling mind. And this is the thinking mind. So let's say when the child is 5 and mom said you're stupid, this doesn't even exist. So whatever mom said went right into the feeling mind, and that is where the belief system or the paradigm gets created. So now that child for rest of his life is going to believe I'm stupid and I am not good at anything. Again, if any of you, if anyone here is a parent, I know I'm a parent, and when I learned all these things, I started staying more quiet with my child, because it's a very crucial, whatever come out of our mouth can go straight into their unconscious mind. So now look at it when we are adult. So let's say, when I was in a environment where there was emotional abuse going on. So let's say if someone say, you're stupid, you're not good, you're fat, like, all those things are happening. What happens because of that sudden emotion that is caused, the feeling mind wake up. And whenever the feeling mind wake up, the thinking mind shuts down. So if somebody is calling me stupid right now and I don't have the mental muscle built to not get impacted by it and stay conscious, my feeling mind just opened and it went right into my unconscious mind. And it became part of my program. It became part of my belief system. It became part of my paradigm. That's why people who come out of an abusive situation, they have like the most damaged belief system that they have to do the work to build it. Again, it might not be for their career life, but it might be only for their relationships. Like they might be really good at what they do in their job, but then one disaster relationship after the other, and they're like, why can't I really get a good relationship here? What's going on? The deep belief says there's something wrong with me. I cannot be loved. So I must be with people who keep that chemistry alive within me. So those would be people who will be abusing us more and more. But the solution is to heal ourselves. And now let's go to that. Let's see what is it that we can do right now. So first of all, I would say, if you have experienced any kind of trauma, get help. If you can, go for therapy. If you can, go for counseling. If you want, you can reach out to me, get help. This is something like what I became, the level of healing I have done within me. I didn't do it myself. I got help because someone else needs to see this is what's going on that needs to shift. And this is not something you can do through books or YouTube videos. Yeah, here we are talking, but we are getting very we are learning, and this learning itself is helping you. It's making you become aware of what's going on. So that in itself is a first step. But getting help is going to speed up the process for you, and it is going to get you on the other side of that healed side much faster. So now let's talk about, if that is not a possibility for you, for whatever reason, or you are in a situation where you cannot leave the abuser. You just can't. Whether you have kids or whether it's that you are not working right now, so you need few years before you can stand on your feet. Whatever the situation, it could be like, you just have a very abusive boss, but you're like, that job, I really need it right now. Whatever the situation is, we're going to talk about 3 things that you can do. First of all is reprogramming your body so you're not listening to the words, because your whole body is unconscious mind. So whenever someone says something to you, just put your hand on your body and say, body, don't listen to this. So let's say someone is saying, you're stupid. Just go to the bathroom, put your hand on your body and say, body, don't listen to that. You are wonderful. You're beautiful. Whatever comes to you in that moment to uplift yourself, you'll be so surprised. That self-coaching right there is going to do wonders for you. It might not heal you completely, but it will keep you on a higher vibration, that the holes are not being poked in your aura. Or even if they are kind of getting sealed because your vibration is getting higher. You're saying words like beautiful, awesome, wonderful. But it's very important you put your hand on your body and tell your body, don't listen to this. And it could be like, you could be in a beautiful relationship. Your spouse just like to tease you. Your kids just like to tease you. Even then, right away, put your hands on your body and say, body, don't listen to this. This is serious business. Your unconscious mind doesn't know the other person is joking. There are certain words that are just not allowed in my home. Doesn't matter what tone they are being said. And I got to that conclusion by learning all this. So definitely let go of the word stupid for yourself. Just let it go from your mind. Imagine you never learned that word. You have no idea what it means. You're never going to use it. The second thing you can do is reprogram your unconscious mind. And the way you're going to do it, come up with a list of characteristics that you already have or you would love to have. So I have a list. Ali is intelligent, strong, incredible, abundant, consistent, open, confident. Like there's a whole page here that I always keep in front of me. Once you have those, and you can always use Google to, okay, this is what I want to program myself to be. Then write I am statement with that. I am beautiful. I am intelligent. I am decisive. If you feel confused. So what we are doing pretty much damage control here right now. So whatever the person is saying or whatever you've been told, when you put it in I am statement, because I am connects you with your soul's energy. That's not the physical body. That's not the mind. That's a declaration to the universe. This is who I am. That's why it's very important. We don't put any weird stuff with I am. We are not saying I am stupid, I am ugly, I am fat. We are not doing that. Even if those are the opinions you have about yourself, we are not doing that. We are bringing in the energy of the highest possible being that you are, or the version of you that you would like to be. We are bringing in that energy. What it's going to do, even if you experienced abuse in your childhood, or even if you're experiencing abuse right now, it's going to start to program your unconscious mind. It's going to start to put another word in there. Another thing you can do, if you don't have time, you're a busy parent, you can record your own voice, reading all that and then play that. I know a lot of people use Louise Hay's affirmations. She's famous for that. They are beautiful. But when you say affirmation or you listen to affirmation in your own voice, that is the most powerful thing you can do. Your own voice heals you. Human voice has the ability to heal. Very, very few people realize that or even know that. Our voice has ability to heal, and your voice for yourself can heal you. So when you look in the mirror and you say, I love you, that feels juicier than anyone else saying, I love you to you. That is the reason, because your voice is so powerful for you. Okay, moving along. The next one is meditation. So why meditation? What meditation does, it repairs and heals your energy. And I know a lot of people run away from meditation. They're like, I'd rather go for bike ride. I'd rather just color. I'd rather go be in nature. Those are all amazing, wonderful things. But something happens when you slow down your mind and you just focus on your breath. So what I'll suggest, try 5 minute, 10 minute, 20 minute, whatever you can do, just put a timer, sit, relax, just focus on your breath. When your focus is moving from here to here, now you're focused on your breath, your brain is getting rest. It can release the chemical waste that it has been accumulating, that overthinking, that confusion that goes on, that is damaging different parts of your brain. That is a lot of toxicity. It starts to release that. Literal toxic chemicals for your brain. It can release that when you're just focused on your breath. That's why whenever we focus on our breath, we calm down a little bit, because that is a tool available to all of us. And when you start to focus just on your breath and now your mind is calm, you connect with your soul. Because what's happening, all your chakras are opening. It's almost like when you're in a forest. Now you came into the forest and all the squirrels are gone. But if you sit still there and you don't move, you'll see the life starts to come back. The deer is back now. The squirrel is moving around. So when you sit still, focused on your breath, your chakras start to open. They start to open. Now they are opening. If they are opening, they are connected. plugged into your soul's energy. And remember, your soul has unlimited energy. Once we learn how to tap into it, we can heal any area of our life. And that is one of my favorite study topic that I do all the time. And it's so fascinating. So we are plugging into the soul to repair our energy body. Even if you come to me and I'm doing energy healing on you, I am going to ask you to meditate eventually. So it starts to get repaired. Now your energy is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Yeah, the same person can say stuff to you, but it bounces off energetically because your aura is getting stronger. And eventually you'll get to a place, you'll pick up your stuff and you'll be able to leave because now you are energetically strong. When we have weaker will, which is Ajna chakra, we can't really make a decision. When we have a weaker solar plexus chakra, we don't even feel the courage. Like, I'm just so afraid. I don't know how to make this decision. But when those heal, become bigger, become stronger, because we have been practicing stillness, which is meditation, and we are plugging into our soul's energy every single day, that is when we can do anything without pushing ourselves from a place of anger. A lot of us, we live a reactive life. I'm talking about living proactive. Another thing I want to share with you guys very quickly. Most of our soul's energy is untapped and it surrounds us. It's called surrounding light. And it takes a lot of work to even get access to that. There's specific things that we do within us to even get access of that. So even if you're using this little bit of energy through meditation every single day, you're still not using your soul's 100% energy. Imagine if you can do that, what you'll be able to achieve. And that is what the healing journey is all about. And the last thing I want to leave you guys with, and this is one sentence that can fix a lot of stuff. And that is, whenever you feel uncomfortable, whenever somebody's saying something to you and you feel like you can't really leave right now and you're stuck in that situation, close your eyes, take a deep breath and declare, in this moment, I am complete. It might not make sense to you. What does that mean? I don't feel complete. I want to help you understand why it works. First of all, when you close your eyes, you're disconnected from your environment. Now you're connected with your inner world. When you took a deep breath, wherever we bring breath, new energy is coming. Where the new energy comes from? Your soul. With a deep breath, you brought more of your soul energy. And then you said, in this moment, that means you're present. So you're plugged into the energy of the present moment, even if it was for like 5 seconds. And then you said, I am complete. Now you are saying the truth of what your soul is. So in that moment, for 5 seconds, you were 100% connected with your soul. So imagine the magic that energy will do. Those 5 seconds can heal your brain. They can heal your chakras. They can heal your energy body. It is such a powerful sentence. I have been able to use just this sentence to break through like major massive fears. Not going to get into detail, but you can do these little things. And also start recognizing where you're abusing other people, because we want to make sure we stop the cycle, and where you are receiving it from other people. So I hope this conversation was a little bit enlightening. You did get a more in-depth insight into what goes on within us and how crucial it is for us to heal. And if this is something you would like to do, you can, reach out to me, DM me. If you're watching this as a random video on YouTube, you can just go to aliajamalcoaching.com and you can book a call, and I would love to be your guide. That is all for today. I'll see you all next Thursday. Bye.